Hello, and welcome back to another One Piece manga chapter review. This week we have chapter 1143. We start off with a nice color spread from Oda. Has the Straw Hats riding flying fish in a race. They're all dressed up in racing gear, and the flying fish have racing gear on them. And they are racing around what looks like a sort of pool slash racetrack. Very nice, very colorful. Great color spread there. Notes from author note pending, so they haven't translated it. So we get to the first page. A sneaky move by God's Knights. What's happening to the kids? Y'all, wait, stop. We got Saul chasing the hypnotized kids. The nightmares are still attacking the school. Chapter title is God's Knights. Yuvla, Magu, Ronja. They really are sleepwalking. Huff, huff. What's that white cloth? Where are you kids going? What's this white cloth? Where are you kids going? What white cloth? Oh, the white cloth is... It looks like that might be Gunko's ribbon. One of Gunko's bandages, so they're following a trail left by Gunko. Careful, Saw. That teacher warned us not to touch them, says Robin. That one that was covered in blood, says Chopper. I know, but it doesn't look like there's anything nearby. We can't let them keep walking like this. It's dangerous. So Saul reaches out to touch the kids. Let's just get him back to the school. And as soon as Saul reaches out towards the kids, a rotating barrier of spikes appears and stabs into Saul's hand. So there's some sort of protective barrier around the children that's invisible, but if you get too close to it, spikes jet out and stab. And that's obviously what happened to the teacher who told them not to get too close. So it wasn't about the dangers of waking sleepwalkers, it was about this power here. So is this Gunko's power still going on? An invisible barrier of spikes. Saul falls over, bleeding out. Gua, it hurts. What the, Saul? What happened? Did something just stab you? Calling from the war school. All of our students suddenly fell into a deep sleep, and 9 of them are walking away, but they're still unconscious. So we've got a call from the war school that the same thing is happening to them. We go to the Western Village. We have no idea what's causing this. School children, my kid is there. That's not all, Mysterious. That's not all. Mysterious beasts have emerged from the forest. Monsters? Are those tykes going to be okay? So the word is reaching the party, Western Village, where they were having the party. Got Dory and Brogy listening in, and the rest of the giant warrior pirates. The kids were heading towards the 8th branch. Interesting. If there's a new snail type. Telediction snail. Only used within Elbaf. So there's a new Dendenmushi variety within Elbaf. So we've got Nami, Brook, and Jinbei hearing the message is being transmitted. All this on top of a fire? This is so sudden. Are they going to be okay? What's going on over there? The 8th branch? So they mean back there, right? Is everything okay? We've got people looking towards the 8th branch where there's that fire. Right, this is awful. My great-great-granddaughter Yuvla goes there. We've got Mountain Beard and the rest of them that are still drunk, including looks like Usopp is there with Mountain Beard and he's still drunk. And they're leaning over and hiccuping. And Mountain Beard is slurring his speech. Nami is shocked. Great-great-grandchild. You're all way too drunk. You can't lose your wits at a time like this. Woo! Ding dong, ding dong. Wow, that was quick. A fire Slavar has been dispatched. Go, fire brigade. We're counting on you. So, okay, Elbaf has firefighters, basically a fire brigade of giants that ride on this ship that I guess their job is to go out and deal with any fires that appear on the tree, which makes perfect sense considering. So they're trying to fly towards the fire. Huh? What's that? What? And then one of the giant monsters, the one that looks like a giant skeleton, pops up and smacks the boat out of the sky. What? Now the giant's on the ground. I'll make a shocked expression seeing that happen. Yeah, did you see the look on that giant's face when the thorns got them? Talk about priceless. What was that expression again? Love is both roses and thorns, right? Beats me. So we've got the God's Knights eating a meal and laughing about what's happened. You're such a stick in the mud, Gunko. The more love you have, the deeper passion's thorns take hold. It'll be even better when their folks show up, right? I love this game. If they try to hug their kids, the thorns will rip them to pieces. The brats won't even want to look at them after that. They'll be falling themselves when they realize their folks died right in front of them. Even murder can be moving. Okay, so now we get a reveal. We've got Saint Summers activating his devil fruit and is creating rings of thorns around his arms, so he's responsible for the thorny barriers around the children. Saint Summers, thorn fruit, a briar man. So he ate the thorn fruit. And this would also confirm that he's not behind the sleeping. So the sleeping is definitely coming from St. Keelan. But why were his thorns invisible? Can they just be invisible? Or maybe it wasn't invisibility and the thorns just appeared as soon as the children got close. But the way it's drawn, they definitely look like they're transparent. And they weren't visible before Saul got close and tried to touch the kids, so there is definitely an invisibility power. Something that was cloaking the thorns. So thorn fruit, I'm wondering, a briar man. So is this perhaps the superior version of the spike fruit? Even though it seems like, at least from this one demonstration of the power, he creates this spiraling thorny vine around things. So it's not exactly like spikes. It's more like a briar. It's a vine with thorns on it. So it'll be death by love. That's something to look forward to, am I right? Come on, you're too stoic. It's pathetic. Gunko, what route are you using? The central path. There are other thick branches. And then we get a map, the Owl Library, the War School, and we see the path. that the children will be walking along. It goes directly to the harbor near the western village. But making them go that way will get them into the ocean clouds I saw by the village. To be in the center is to be vulnerable. That's a harsh reality to face, especially when you're too helpless to move. Summers, this needs salt. Salt? St. Kingdom, mythical dragon fruit model, Cleland. A dream materializing man. So, yep. Basically confirmed that. Okay, so this is a very interesting power, and it's exactly what I was expecting. It's a power to materialize dreams. And so, to demonstrate the power, St. Summers imagines salt, then falls asleep, or so there's a wave that apparently hits him and puts him to sleep. As he's thinking about salt, that causes him to dream about salt. St. Quillingham reaches into the dream and pulls out the salt. Abst rock salt, ever the connoisseur. You can wake up now. Zuh. That's the ability you use to pull the dream demons out of those brats' heads, right? Of course, I can use it multiple times simultaneously. This salt is perfect. I agree. The Japanese used MMA, pronounced Muma. This could be a reference to both a Pokemon and the monsters in Anpanma. Muma for dream demons. Okay. That ship docked at the village is meant for the giants, but we should be able to make our own rainbows with a painter. It's delicious. Gunko is impressed by the taste of the food they're eating. What a peculiar culture. So when we've done that, we just return to the Holy Land and... What? That's it? This game was way too easy. I'm stuffed. Hey, is this 0 calories? Well, it was a dream meal, ha 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 ha, so of course it's calorie free. Summers, don't let your guard down. Trouble is brewing. I saw a certain pirate ship anchored at the village. Emperor Straw Hat Luffy is on Elbaf. Huh? Hey, aren't the kids heading straight for the fire? Now we've gone back to the kids. As they're walking, looks like they're walking directly towards the fire on a branch. It spread faster than I expected. But no matter. If they die, we'll just have the next batch march over. Loki, you know good. Go ahead and try something, Hadouken. Doga, ha 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 ha. There's no way you can stop me. None of you can even lift Ragnar. We can't let you turn anyone else in the Sun Realm into a victim. Oh, there will be victims. The flames are already spreading. Now choose. Surrender your weapons and let me go, or... Sanji screams at Luffy, hey, what's the deal with this monstrous giant? He's injured. If you don't help, he'll... Will you let everyone die? I'll slaughter every last weakling in the Sun Realm. If you don't answer... Wait, we get it, says Hadouken. Luffy smiles. Don't fall for it, Hadouken. Rono is Zoro. I guess there's no choice. I promised. If you did anything, I'd drop you, says Luffy. Wait, Straw Hat. He'll zap you if you get near. I see. So that's your answer. There's no turning back from a crime like this. Just stop, Luffy, and think of the children, says Gerd. Luffy, are you gonna let him off easy? His wounds are about to open up again anyway, says Zoro. So Luffy jumps up. Gum gum. Damn, guess I lose this round. Arm balloon. And Luffy punches at Loki. What? It says the giant warrior pirates looking on. And let's see, did the punch connect? I'm not sure. From the looks of things, it seems like there wasn't really an impact. Luffy blew up his arm like it was going into gear third, preparing to attack. His arm is going towards Loki, but doesn't look like it's made an impact. Maybe it did. Maybe it just barely grazed him. And Loki falls over. Zoro says he was already at death's door. Just standing and talking, or just standing was taking all the strength he could muster. It was a nice try. He probably planned on finding somewhere to pass out safely after he escaped. I doubt he'd have made it given the blood loss. It's up to you now whether you want to treat him or let him croak, says Zoro. I have unfinished business with him, but he was covered in blood, says Luffy. Certainly looks like someone tried to kill him. That's a separate issue from his prior crime, says Road. It's just a hunch, but could it be? I have a Hardigan, I have a request, says Luffy. Save his life. I don't care what kind of person he is. I just can't watch him die. How long for full recovery? Several months at the least. So Gerd is treating Loki. If we're serious about treating these wounds, you shouldn't be sleeping in a place like this. It won't be so forgiving at the village. It'd be a one-way ticket to execution. I don't mind staying here. Their hatred really runs deep, but I guess we are talking about the unforgivable garbage. And then Luffy is sitting on the horns that are coming out of Loki's head. Wow, those horns are the real deal. It's the mark of the ancient giants. Our father, Harold, was the same. Then Hardigan starts remembering the king. He's speaking to a young Loki and Hardigan. You are both my precious sons. I want you to get along when I'm gone. Do what you can to support Elbaf. How can I call such a weak runt my big brother, says Loki. You're just a bastard. You'll never be Dad's true heir. Hardigan, everyone knows your mom's got dirty blood. So that kind of explains why Hardigan doesn't have the horns like Loki and Harold did. So he's a half-blood. So he's a half ancient giant and half regular giant? Is that what the difference is here? And Hardigan slowly, silently raises his axe while looking at Loki. Whoa, hold it! Hardigan, calm down. There's no way I can ever forgive him. He insulted my mother and killed our father. Do it already. This weeping warriors thing has gotten old, says Loki. You're so drunk on all this personal drama. You can't even see the forest for the trees. Don't tell me you're really like the rest, thinking I actually killed our father in cold blood. You don't really buy it, do you? And as the chapter ends, what's Loki saying? So, we've got a bit of an obvious revelation here that Loki probably didn't kill their father, which makes sense. We get confirmation of the devil fruit abilities of the gods and knights here on Elbaf. We get another reference to dreams and making dreams into reality, which, according to Vegapunk, is the source of why devil fruits exist. So there's something to it. And a confirmation that Saint Quilinam is a mythical dragon fruit, dragon fruit, model Keelan. And there's no break. So we can hop right in to the next chapter. So welcome to One Piece Manga Chapter Review for Chapter 1144. Chapter title, A Time for Warriors. We are back to the Yamato cover story here. Onichild Yamato and the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, Volume 29. Liberating the girls and Minamoto from the Minamoto the carpenter. So I guess they held Minamoto the carpenter as well. Maybe they had him building the structure that they lived in. So everyone's being freed. All of page one's, or excuse me, who's minions are all beaten up on the ground. They got defeated. There's from Oda, the real life Zoro, Makenyu Arata, has been dropping by the studio recently to play the One Piece card game. He really enjoys it. And now we're back to Frankie and... Wait, was this Gerd? Maybe Gerd is... I thought Gerd was the girl on Harujin's crew, but I'm not remembering Scopper's wife's name. Or maybe Scopper's wife is Gerd. Either way, we're back with Frankie and Scopper's wife at the Atom Tree. Frankie is shot. What the hell is that? The Atom Tree tour continues. Well, what do you think it is? This has always been here. It's giving me scientific vibes. Haha, I figured you of all people would appreciate it, being a cyborg and all. And what we see is what looks like the head of another giant robot, similar to the Emeth. But this one is old and it's just a head. It's decrepit. It's sort of grown into the tree. So you've got branches coming out of it. There's moss all over it. And it's sort of molded into the tree and the ground. And there's a building under the head. A large house building structure. Or there'd be a facility like this in a country of warriors. Hey Frankie, you're here! We've got Vegapunk and Bonnie. Or, to be more specific, we got Lilith and Bonnie. I was just thinking I'd like to show you this place later. It's awesome here, Frankie. Lilith, Bonnie, what are you two doing here? We got lost. Thanks for finding us. Guess even geniuses get lost. It's good we found you. There was a horn blast earlier, so the woods might not be safe right now. In that case, this facility really is stunning. Estimate it's been here for at least 3,000 years. What? How did you calculate that? There's no way it's that old. You can't really refute that claim. Honestly, even we locals aren't sure about the origins of this building. Now that's something worth researching. I think I'll make myself at home here. You'll get lost again. Well, I'm gonna check it out for myself, says Frankie. Yeah! Bonnie makes a shocked expression. What's wrong, Bonnie? Look out! There's something behind you. What I find most scary. Thunder. You've got that huge angry thunder cloud. And it's firing off bolts of lightning. Ah man, this is unreal. Elbaf's just full of crazy stuff, huh? Says Frankie. No, that's not familiar. What kind of creature is that? Now back to the Western Village. The giant skeleton monster is still attacking. That fire Solar was wrecked. What I find most scary. Draugr. Sober up and grab your weapons. It's not just a regular zombie, it's a Draugr. What could have brought the children's imagination to life like this? Where are the chiefs? We're waiting on their orders. They drank too much. They're still holed up in the privy. You're kidding. This couldn't be more surreal. A giant me, says Brooke. You visitors should fall back to the village, to the edge of the village. Should I carry you all there? Hey, you don't need to keep us at arm's length. We want to help fight, says Usopp. You said that last bit a little too quietly, says Jinbei. Either way, there's definitely something strange happening on this island. That's enough, Colin. Why? Why not? I'm a warrior too. I can fight. I just told you no. I'm Gyaban's son. And that doesn't make you Gyaban. The battlefield's no place for a kid like you. Yeah. Yarl. What's wrong, Missy? I'm sorry, there's something I didn't tell you before, says Nami. You're saying one of these intruders looked just like Red Hair? Yeah, and both of them were seriously strong. One of them had a really weird ability, so Jarl is talking to the two guards that Gunko and Shamrocks attacked. In this world, strange powers usually come from devil fruit, says Jinbei. If it's an unknown element, odds are it's a devil fruit user. Spread the word that there are two humans other than Straw Hats. There are two humans other than the Straw Hats on Elbaf. Report back as soon as you find them. Right away. Are you sure it's only two intruders? Says Brooke. All this chaos suggests there could be more. Right. Get the word out now. I don't know who's behind this or where they're hiding, but anyone who kidnaps children in broad daylight is nothing but scum, says Nami. If they're taking hostages, they must have something else planned for Elbaf, says Usopp. I've never heard of a kidnapping like this before. I won't let them get away with it, says Jarl. We'll lend a hand. We'll just need a human-sized ship to... Don't be ridiculous. You're our guest. You should go hide somewhere safe. Hey, just wait a sec. Where are Dory and Broggy? Still stuck in the privy. Seriously. They seriously need to lay off the booze. If the culprits are human-sized, we'd be better suited to dealing with this. That's right, giants can take care of big things. We should focus on the intruders. Agreed. But Elbaf is too big for us to search on foot. And Nami notices Colin hauling all the weapons he's packed up towards a little ship. Heave ho, heave ho. Huh? You wanna come with me? I thought you were gonna stop me. Alright then, but I get to be the captain. Let's go, Colin Pirates. Set sail. Hey, you're big enough to row. Onwards! So the Straw Hats are getting in Colin's little ship and riding with him. Now we've got Gunko listening to music. All warriors in the Sun Realm, please be advised. There was a confirmed sighting of humans other than the Straw Hats earlier at Oust Castle. Consider them hostile and dangerous. Yeah, Gunko's post-meal ritual. It's not a ritual, I just like it. That's a TD, right? We should have a singing contest. You're out if you mess up. Bam. It's nice having a hobby. What's your favorite song? New World. Yeah, you got a problem with the current one? You shouldn't mock the interest of other summers. Ah, my bad. Anyway, look over there. That grown-up is going all out to try and save the kids. Now you've got Saul. He's got 2 shields now. Now there ain't no way they can stab me. And they ain't going nowhere. You've got this, Saul. So Saul is trying to block the kids. Robin and Chopper are looking on. The kids are just following this cloth, right? But it's heading straight for the flames. They'll die if I don't stop them. Alright, they're stopped. But then the thorns activate around the kids. And because of the shield, it's pushing the kids into each other, so they're getting stabbed with the thorns. Ah! What the? Why, sorry, you've lost Skadi. Olaf, you okay back there? What now? If I stop one, they all start pricking each other. That's disgusting. Who would do such a thing, says Robin. Saul, it must be the work of a fruit ability. They have to be close by. The kids would reach the fire before we found them. We can't let that happen. If we can stop the ones in front, then we'll start with Bjorn. If we can't stop the ones in front, we'll start with Bjorn in the back. And Saul swings a lasso and throws it around the kid. Yes, he's out of the line. If I can stop the rest one by one. What I find most scary, Fenrir. And the giant beast Fenrir shadow shows up. They're actually controlling these monsters too? Yeah, who's behind this? Principal, it's not just the Western Village. The other villages are reporting monster sightings. They're appearing all over Elbaf. Must be some kind of ability. We need to find them fast. Right. Now we've got the Western Village. Outskirts, finally. I didn't think Draugrs were real. Who knew that taking one down would be this much trouble? Huff, huff. Some of the giant warrior pirates seem to have knocked down and the Draugr. Don't know if it's been defeated yet. Roar! What? Now the dragon flies in and breathes lightning or fire at the giants, knocking them over. A Nidhogger. What I find most scary, a Nidhogger. It's no use, they just keep coming. What I find most scary, a ghost. We won't be able to protect the village. Everyone, take cover. Giants start to retreat. Now we see a giant axe and a giant sword being raised into the air. Ready, Dory? Absolutely, Brogy. Hakoku sovereignty. We've got Dory and Brogy riding in on their ship, firing off their Hakoku sovereignty, slicing through the ghost and the dragon. In one hit. This is the Savlar mode of our ship. The Savlar mode of our mighty ship, Great Eric. You monsters are in for it now. We'll get you for making us waste our booze. Yes, the Chiefs. Yes, did the Chiefs do that? No, it's the Giant Warrior Pirates. Sorry, we're late. Had to barf up all that booze. What a waste. Leave the beast to us. You guys take care of the kids. Mountain Eater, Yasan. Hehe. The ship's basically invincible now. The Pirate King's left hand arrives. So we got Dory, Brogy, and Scopper there. So they are going to take on the monsters. And they're very strong, so that means the monsters are probably going to be mostly under control for this point. At least the monsters that are near Dory and Brogy. Problem is, will they be able to fly around the island fast enough to catch the other monsters that are troubling Saul and the others? But things are really sort of devolving here. But at the same time, the Straw Hats are sort of on their way to regather. Frankie still seems to be a bit separated, dealing with Vegapunk and Bonnie and Gerd. They've got that giant lightning thundercloud monster. So Brooke, Nami, Jinbei, Usopp are going with Cullen. Cullen is heading towards the fire, or where the rest of the giant warrior pirates were heading. And the God Knights are just sort of hanging around. I guess it is a game to them, so they're not really super duper invested in how things turn out. They just sort of see it as a foregone conclusion that they're going to accomplish their goal here. Even though they do know that they got reports that Emperor Straw Hat Luffy is on Elbaf. Does this mean that the God Knights generally don't consider the Emperors to be a threat? That's not the case, because they wouldn't need to receive the report in the first place about Straw Hat Luffy being on Elbaf if they didn't care at all about the Emperors being present. But we do get some information. So we've got here is a setup for a little bit more information. We've got setup for the Atom Tree, learning a bit more about that. We have the Giants learning of the existence of Shamrock. The Giants probably don't know anything special about Shanks' bloodline or the Fickerlin family, so they probably won't be able to say much about Shamrock. We've got to deal with the monsters. Then if they can deal with the monsters, they can probably stop the kids from advancing. Dory and Brogy. Also Scopper. That's a really powerful force there on the island. So Scopper is showing up in the story a little bit sooner than I expected. I expected he wouldn't show up again until the very end. But he's showing up to fight here, which I suppose makes sense because it is threatening the land he's living in, so there is that. Then we've got the Loki information. We're probably going to get at some point some backstory on Loki. Maybe not his entire backstory, but at least backstory on what happened involving Harold and why people think that Loki killed his father. We might also get some Harujan background as well. Learn what it was about his mother. Was his mother just a regular giant? So there's a demarcation between the ancient giants and the regular giants. That could be possible. Because Harujan's not half human for sure. He's not half human. So his mother's a giant, which means it's just a demarcation between types, classes of giants, which I believe they did mention that a little bit earlier in some of the earlier chapters, Elbaf chapters, so that makes sense. You might get to learn exactly how far back Loki and Harold's lineage goes. Does it go all the way back to, like, the Ors line, or is this a separate ancient giant line? Which would mean that there were other ancient giants besides Ors, which I suppose makes sense. We've got a robot from 3,000 years ago. So that takes us back to not only before the Void Century, not only before the Void Century. Does this take us back to we don't have an indication of when the time of Nika was, the original time of Nika. Right? We don't. We have 3 ages of the world. And do we have timelines for the 3 ages? I don't believe we do. And then we have we have several things that seem like they could be thematic clues appearing throughout these last 2 chapters. On the largest side, we have St. Keelan's power, which is dream manifestation, which Vegapunk theorized or stated that that's how devil fruits came to exist. They're a manifestation of man's dreams, man's will to do certain things. So we've got that dream theme again, manifestation of dreams. So that could be a parallel to ultimately a revelation of what devil fruits are and how they're coming to being, especially as we are close to the Atom Tree. Got another robot, so Emeth was not a unique being. There were others like Emeth before Emeth. And if Emeth is from the Ancient Kingdom, that would mean it could be thought that all giant robots like that are from the Ancient Kingdom. But why would a robot from the Ancient Kingdom be on Elbaf, or what would become Elbaf 3,000 years ago? How did it get destroyed? Why is its head the only thing there? What happened to its body? Who built a sort of laboratory / building structure under and in the robot's head? It would have to be regular sized humans because, well, how big was it? Yeah, it seems like it was pretty. Maybe it could have been giants. Then we have the ancient giants. You have these giant robots alongside the ancient giants. Then the other big thing we have is Gunko listening to music, Brook's song, New World. And Brook's song, New World, takes on an entirely different context when we put it in line with the fact that the world has been destroyed 2 times before. So we're in the third world. There was a first world, a second world. We're currently living in the third world. Brooks' song is about a new world. So if we line up the clues, we have dawn. There's a dawn that's supposed to be coming. Luffy is bringing in the dawn. Then we have a new world. Dawn of a new world. So is this suggesting that by the end of One Piece, we will be in a fourth world? That the third world will end and a fourth world will begin by the end of the story. That's looking like it's a strong possibility at this point, which is interesting. It also leads into all the stories about Nika and the interpretations based on people's personal perspectives on Nika and whether the sun god Nika, in pursuit of the sun god's goals, if their consequences of their actions were good for the world or bad for the world, depends on who you ask, basically. So it's very much sort of lining up themes that might be themes that show up in the end game. Of course, it could also be that they're red herrings, but since they connect to big story revelations, each of them, I feel like they are not red herrings, because they do line up with story revelations. It's just that there are clues that a reader can put together. So I think that's going to leave things off here. Very nice set of chapters. It looks like there's no break, so we'll be rolling right into the next one this week, which is good. I suppose after that we'll hit our next break. But either way, I will catch you all in the next chapter. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and all that stuff. And I will see you then. Take care.